Hello, today I'm going to demonstrate my corporation's solution with the DOT for crash investigation. This is considered a Mi-Forms SDK application for Windows in that it combines the form filling capabilities of Mi-Forms with a custom user interface around it. So I launched it and hopefully you saw a splash screen there, and now I'm being prompted for some credentials. Now, if I look at my advanced settings here, we see that we are talking to a Mi-Forms server, and this will transact with that. It'll be able to synchronize templates and form sessions and that sort of thing through the use of our SDK. I'm going to go ahead and log in as Johnny. And I've already logged in the past as this user, so what we'll see when they log in is that I have a few cases that are ready for investigation. But if we look down below, what's happened here is the application has queried that server, and it sees all of the different cases that might be in different states of availability. In this case, there are different queues for the cases that are ready for investigation, the ones that need peer review, the ones that are undergoing investigation right now, and in that case, we see who they're locked to as well, and we wouldn't be able to work on one of those. If I were to take, say, this case down here that says it's ready for investigation, I could then click this arrow, and you see as I hover over that, that adds it to my cases. That will download the case file and lock it to me. So if somebody else were to log into this application on their computer, they would see this same sort of display down here, but they would see it locked to Johnny at this point. Again, this is all using the SDK and the web services that are provided by the Mi-Forms server in order to accomplish that. Now that we have it available on our device as a case, I can click on it and I can go ahead and open it. Actually, all I have to do is double tap on it. And now what we've brought up is a bit of a different interface here. Now, if you're familiar with the Mi-Forms client that you probably have seen in demos, it's a similar sort of interface in that there are forms that can be opened by the user based on their availability to the group membership that user has. But that's kind of where the similarity ends. Certainly we have a much different menuing system across the top here. We can indicate that we need a manager for this case, save, delete, close, and so on. These tabs, or buttons I should say, are designed to be very touch friendly, also very high contrast in a bright sunlight environment. Also down the left, we see that we've customized things specific to crash investigation. So in the normal Mi-Forms client, we have a bit of a generic interface, but here we know things about the forms that we're going to be working on, so we can display some information about it. So for instance, it picks up the case number directly from the form. It actually even has a link here to what is actually an attachment in the form. This is the police accident investigation, and if I tap that, it launches that PDF, and we can see some information there about that investigation, about that accident report, I should say. And then, importantly, down the left, it has information about the case, information about crash events, vehicles, and so on. Now, on the right-hand side, this is the standard Mi-Forms form filling interface. In this case, across the top here on the case information, we just have several ink edit fields that have already been pre-filled as part of this SDK application as well. And if I want to, I can scroll down here, and I have already a few questions that I can answer just about the case in general. That sort of thing. But we can also use those sections across the left to navigate around our form a bit. So, for instance, first thing I might want to do is add a vehicle. So I can click on that, and if I see there, once I've tapped the vehicles, it kind of cascades down, and I'm able to click Add Vehicle. And now that I've added a vehicle, we see that over on the right-hand side, we've actually change to the form page that is appropriate for adding vehicles, specifically to the general information about the vehicle to start with. So here I can use our handwriting interface, for instance, to enter the year, pick a make, and then pick a specific type from that as well. Pick body category and so on and so forth. Again, we have recognition fields down here, for instance, for the VIN number. I could also then navigate to other pieces of information about this vehicle if I wanted to. Where we had built this out to when we had finished with the DOT was just to this general information, but we see that down the left-hand side we have placeholders for exterior, interior, occupants, and so on. And they've taken this application since that time and have been working on adding that to the application as well. I can go to crash events, add a crash event at this point, pick, again, a vehicle class. Actually, I suppose in this case maybe full size, CDC applicable, so on and so forth. Then ultimately I can save this, I can close it. So I save it, close it, say OK to that, and I come back down to my menu here. And all of this, of course, can be done offline. Once I've synchronized the case down to my device, I can just work with that case for offline filling. There's also the possibility of integrating with third-party applications as well. Actually, if we were to reopen, say, one of these other investigations, we can see that across the side here where it says other stuff, there is a placeholder here as well for third-party app links. So specifically in this case, there were some applications that could do measurements of certain physics aspects of a car crash, and we could launch those directly from this application. The idea ultimately is to take what is ultimately a form, but embed it more closely in the way that the crash investigators want to do their investigation and their data input, rather than kind of forcing a form-filling application on them. Instead, it's more of a crash investigation application. So again, this is built with the Mi-Forms SDK for Windows. This is a .NET application, and it's integrated with the Mi-Forms server. And this is just one example of what you might be able to do with that. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and we can have a further discussion. Thanks.